Hello and welcome to Skeptical Yarn. My name is Katie and today we are going to be doing a crochet with me video, and we are going to be making the wearable wrap dragon crochet pattern by Lisa B. Stitchin as pictured here. I have had this pattern in my pattern library for a little while now. I've been wanting to make it to wear to a Ren Fair, and the Ren Fair is coming up for me. I was originally planning on going in October, but now I might be going at the end of August. Today's August 18th, by the way, so that's when we are starting this. And yeah, so I really want to finish it by the end of the month because we might be going at the end of the month now. So wanted to start this video to get that going. I will say though, don't be mad at me. I did start it already, okay? I did a couple pieces already. I did the little horns. I did these little frill bits, which are kind of cool. And I also did the tail. So that's what we have so far. But other than that, we are starting fresh. Haven't made any of the body or anything yet. But yeah, I wanted to make this video as just kind of a little log, a little crochet with me. So if you have a project, go grab that. You can work on it with me. So far, it does seem like a pretty good pattern. It is pretty in-depth. It explains things pretty well. There are a good amount of pictures, especially to show things that like your average crocheter might not realize from just the written instructions. And there are also a couple different types of dragons that you can make. I am planning on making, if you can see, I am planning on making the dragon with the short neck, and I want to do a long tail, but I might have to see. I might not do the long tail, might do the short tail instead, depending on how I feel when I start making the tail, because I don't really make amigurumi. I make mostly clothes, especially with crochet, so I don't really love crocheting amigurumi. I don't really like crocheting really small circumferences. I find that it puts a lot of strain on my hands. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna see. I do have some time to work on this, even though I do want to finish it by the end of the month. It's a relatively small project, so I could probably even just do a little bit a day and meet my goal. But yeah. Other than that, we are going to be using this yarn for the body color. It's this nice green yarn. I believe it is Loops and Threads acrylic. Wait for all that stuff. And then for the accent color, so for the accent body parts and stuff, it's going to be this brown that I have, that I use for the tail so far. And this is, I think it's Red Heart acrylic. I think it's probably Red Heart. It's definitely 100% acrylic though. And yeah, so we're going to be using those two colors. And then the size hook I am using is a 3.5 millimeter. But yeah, I am definitely excited to keep going. I had a lot of fun actually making these little frilly bits. It was they were definitely constructed in an interesting way. If you can kind of see how it's like there's like 4 ridges, I thought that was really cool and creative. And I am assuming that eventually we'll sew these pieces on to the dragon as we make it. And yeah, I do need a couple other things that I don't need right now, but eventually I'm gonna need some wire, which I might have at home, might need to go buy some. And also I need a brush to brush out the tail, some sort of wire brush. So I'll have to do that eventually. But we're gonna work with what we have now. And yeah. Also, I think I'm gonna try to time my work on this to the best of my ability. I'm not very good at doing that because I always like forget to hit the timer or forget to stop the timer or whatever. But I'm gonna try. Okay, so you know how long this pattern takes to make. Okay. Obviously I didn't time the time the time it took to make all the little pieces I've done already, but it wasn't a lot. I'm gonna probably just add like 20 minutes onto the end total to account for those pieces, because that's probably about how long it took me. But yeah, other than that, I think we're gonna need safety eyes too at the end, and yeah, let's just get started, I guess. Or technically, let's continue. So right now, I'm going to start crocheting the tail. This is gonna be with the main body color of my dragon. So far, one thing about this pattern I don't love is that some of it's kind of like implied. It's not really explicitly explained, which I am of the belief that you should explicitly explain like steps in a pattern, not necessarily like explaining how to do every little thing, but like I think you should say like start with a slip knot. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think you should just say like chain blah blah blah. Start with a slip knot. Other example, like start with a magic ring. You know, like I feel like that should be said. It shouldn't just be implied. Because like it's just not very beginner friendly. And not even just the beginners, but like I don't know. It's just put every step in there, okay? You don't have to explain every step, but just put it in the pattern, okay? So that we know what we're doing. I'm like 5 or 6 rows into the tail and my fingers are already cramping. This is 5 stitches. Here is my progress for what would be about the short tail length for the first section of the pattern. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the long tail length just because it hasn't been too bad doing this. I mean, usually the small circumferences are kind of, it definitely is a little tough on my hands, but to make the longer tail version, it's not that many more rows. So yeah, I'm going to just keep going. We're at about 40 minutes with just this little piece. So I feel like I'm definitely kind of crocheting it kind of slow, but whatever. I'm having fun watching my videos. Averp on YouTube right now. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going and follow the instructions for a long tail. That way, like, it can wrap around my arm more, if that makes sense.
I was like bored, and that was Britney Spears' book Woman in Me. I don't really believe in ranking people's memoir because that's awkward and weird to be like, your life is boring and sucks. So I read this.
Now I increased by 1 stitch, and it's really just the same thing again for another infinite amount of rows. That's what it feels like. We are at the 1 hour mark, and this is my progress. Very nice. I have an update. So I have gotten to the point in the pattern where I did the entire tail up to the point where I need to add the wire. Like I said, I'm doing the long tail, so this is what that looks like. So I went to Michael's today to grab some wire because I found that I did have a little bit of wire left, but it wouldn't have been enough for the project, and also it wasn't the right type of wire. It had to be thicker. So the pattern recommended 2.5 millimeter bonsai training wire. And she does include a link to it if you want to buy it from Amazon. But I didn't want to wait for that, so I just went to Michael's and I got this copper wire. It is 16 gauge because that was the closest size I could find to 2.5 millimeters. But yeah, this is the wire I'll be using. I don't know if it's like different than the one she recommends, but like maybe it's more or less malleable or whatever, but I don't really care about that. I think it's fine. Let me measure this. I have these pliers, wire cutters as well. They're both 2-in-1. Oh, okay. All right, let me do this. So I'm a little nervous about putting it in the tail. I feel like it's gonna be a little hard because it's so long. Like I feel like I'm gonna poke it, like make it poke out of the tail. But let's do this. Let me see what she says to do in the pattern. Okay, so to make it easier, she actually says, where's my other kit? There they are. She actually says to bend the end a little bit, which does make sense. Because then it also won't, yeah, it won't be like sharp and poke out. So let me do that. To be a little, basically like the size of um the end of the tail, I guess. Ow. Okay. All right, cool. Here we go. Okay. All right, and then we just put it down there, I guess. Ooh, it might be a little too big, actually. I'm just gonna squeeze it. Okay, okay. 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 Ooh, stretching it a little bit. The tail must be like, I'm gonna measure it actually. I'm curious to see how long it is. All right. Oh, I think. Oh, I don't wanna. Okay. All right. We made it to the end. So, oh gosh, I almost just stabbed myself in the face. Okay. Probably about 20 inches. All right. Yeah. So that's what we have right now. So now we're kind of just going to crochet around the wire. I'm gonna bend it a little bit so it's not like uh flying everywhere while I crochet, and then you can just kind of like unbend it as you go. Ooh, that was a nice swirl. Okay, cool. So now I can kind of crochet and it won't be flying everywhere. I am. Oh, I think it'll also be a lot like more sturdy, I guess, when I stuff it, because it does also say to start stuffing it at this point. Um, because as you can see, there's like a little bit of space in the tail here. When it was all the way down here, it was pretty skinny, so I don't. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to get the stuffing all the way down here. But I'm also gonna start stuffing it. I do have yarn scraps and things like that, but I think I'm just gonna use regular um fiberfill stuffing just because I don't want anything like poking out and showing through the stitches. So yeah, let's do that. I'm getting it. Okay, we're kind of working with something here. It's definitely firmer, like I was saying. I don't think pushing it down any further is gonna actually push it down further. I think it is just gonna um, make the stuffing denser. Okay. All right. So now we just um keep crocheting. Ooh, I'm gonna just keep going, and I think now we're probably going to start making it a little bit wider for the body. And yeah, I'm actually really excited to finish this. Um, I took a long break from it, like when I first started, but I'm really excited to get going on this. I think it'll be fun, and it'll make for some good pictures.
Would we be putting others at risk? The villains of this world aren't the only ones who seek power.
Here is progress at 2 hours. So I'm pretty much done with the body, so I'm going to be starting the neck soon. I have an update. So we are about to hit 4 hours, and I have the finished body of the dragon pretty much. I just have to close up this hole the front here, but he's pretty much done here. So next, I believe we're going to be doing the wings. I'm really excited for those. I think it's going to be fun. Um, I it was a little bit of a struggle to do the like face area, so we had to attach these pieces that we made in the beginning, but I think he looks so cute. Doesn't he look adorable? But yeah, I feel like the pattern so far has been really helpful, particularly with stitch count. It also does have patterns and it does explain exactly how to wait, not patterns, I think I meant pictures. And it also does explain how to like attach the little body part pieces and how to like manipulate the wire and all that stuff so that it doesn't like poke through. So we do have wire running through the whole dragon, as you can see. And I did stuff it pretty firm as well, so that it's easier to like manipulate and stuff like that. So yeah, I think now, I'm gonna sew his little face closed, and then I think next is probably the wings. So we will continue. Again, we're at 4 hours now. So two wings. What? Please excuse my wet hair, but I had to show you the finished wings. So there's wire in both of them, as you can see, sticking out here, so that you can shape it and stuff, I guess. Um, I think they look really, really cool. I did decide to add in this little yellow color that I have. I just had like a little bit of it left over, and it's cool because it's kind of sparkly. You can't really see it on camera, but I'm sure in the sunlight you will be able to see that. But yeah, I feel like it complements the dragon really well, and this is kind of what it's gonna look like. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I think he's looking so cool. He's almost done, so I am very excited. Looking forward to finishing him. We are at about 6.5 hours now, I think. I did have a little bit of struggle with the timer. I Last night I forgot to put it on when I was working on it, but then I also forgot to turn it off after I was working on it. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we're kind of evened out at this point. Um, the wire was a little bit difficult to put in, but it worked out okay. But yeah, I'm really excited to see it on the dragon. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and sew them on. Hello. So I'm here to do a little reveal. Okay, we have our finished dragon. Don't look yet. We have our finished dragon, and revealing in 3, 2, 1. What? I know the lighting's not too good, but is that a little better? Can you see it a little better? Here. But here is our dragon. I think it turned out so cool. I really like that I did the yellow on the wings actually. I think it turned out really nice. And here's our little tail. I didn't brush it out like the pattern calls for. I think it's fine like that. If I do get a cat brush, someday. Maybe I will do that. But yeah, here it is. The tail is fully bendable, so I can do it like this. I haven't been doing it too much just because, like, I don't want to get a bunch of kinks in the wire like this, for example. Um, I didn't end up going to, it's September now, so I didn't end up going to the Ren Fair in August, but I am still planning on going in late September or maybe the last, no, yeah, probably late September. Um, so yeah, here's our finished dragon, and I'm definitely planning on wearing it there. I'm really excited to do that. I think it's gonna look super cool. Um, Maybe I'll get some compliments. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this guy. It was really exciting, and I'm really glad that I did it. And yeah, if you want to see some pictures of me wearing him on the Ren Fair at the Ren Fair, I'll probably post them on my Instagram after I go. So yeah, definitely be sure to follow me there at Skeptical Yarn. And that is it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!